I wanted to share an experience from yesterday. I have two dogs, Tree and Solo, and they are my babies. They are they are my force field of love and acceptance and tolerance, and like they've taught me so much, and I love them so deeply. And I've been through a lot these last 2-3 years. I think all of us have been through a lot, and sharing my personal journey. And one thing I can say is they've been my steady source of unconditional love and unconditional acceptance, no matter how I smell, no matter what happens, no matter whether I'm crying or I'm laughing or I'm working out or I'm sleeping in, whatever it is that I'm doing. They're always there by my side, and they're always welcoming, and their tails are always up, and their backs are always, like to me, as in like they trust that they can expose themselves. Like we're family, and there's a lot more I can talk about them, but I just want to share what happened. I had to find someone who could take care of them for me temporarily. And because my son and I, we're going through a lot right now, and one thing about being here in this country I'm in is it's really hard to find a home if you have dogs, and plus my life is like I really do not know what tomorrow is going to bring, or what the next month is going to bring, or I have no idea what's actually going on. And I realized that I really had to keep them safe, and I wanted them, and because the choices would have been, like to find any Tom, Dick or Harry who could take care of them, or to find them a good place. And I'd been looking for a while, and I finally found this lovely woman who was willing to help me out. And so I took them over, and it was a beautiful place. She had a huge garden. I'd taken them once before so they could familiarize themselves with the surroundings. And there was a huge garden and a pool for them, and 20 other dogs to play with, and a kind woman and with a helper, and they would have food every day, and they could go for walks up in the mountains. And oh my God, like I felt so happy for them. But I didn't get there right away. I'll tell you what happened. I'd been crying my eyes out for the last, I don't know how long, because I knew that this day was coming, and even the thought of it would make me just tear up, and I just could not fathom them not being there. When I wake up or when I come home and not having them. It was really hard to conceive of that notion that my little ones would not be there with me. They're like my babies, my dogs. I have a son. He's also, but he's not like a dog. He's like my son. It's the human connection, but this is a connection, like with an animal at a different level. But they're still like your babies, and with their little quirks and everything else. And so it was really hard for me to imagine that. And so even the night before, I was just bawling my eyes out. I just could not stop. I spent like an hour and a half just with them, just rolling around, just walking to all their favorite spots by where I live and all of that. And the next day, when I woke up, I didn't even sleep in my bedroom. I just slept in the living room with them there. They always sleep in my bedroom with me. But so I woke up the next day, and I had to make up my mind. I had to say, you know what, I can turn this into the most horrible day of my life, like in a long time, since one other horrible incident happened last year in August. And I was like, I could either turn this into this most horrible incident, that I wouldn't want to look back on and remember, and throw a tantrum, cry, do whatever, or I could think about where they're going, and I could, like Tony Robbins says, your life is only as good as your emotions. I could take control of my emotions, and I could look for the gift in this. And so I decided that I was going to make a conscious decision, and this is what I want to share with you guys. This is what I did. I just made a conscious decision, knowing full well how much it could hurt, but also choosing to change my story at that time, to choosing to change the script of what I was telling myself. So instead of saying that, oh my God, it's going to be so terrible, horrible, I said to myself, you know what, this is temporary. They're going to a place. I'm going to get my life together. Things will work out. It cannot be going down, 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 down forever. I'm going to get a grip, and I'm going to make it possible for us all to be together again. And in the meantime, they're not stuck in any dog cage somewhere. They're not stuck, like some of these people, they'll keep the dogs for a month, like at the back of a room, with just being fed and, their poop cleaned. And, they're not going to a place like that. They're going to a place with a garden, and they can run around, and there's a pool for them. There are other dogs to play with. And I had to rephrase this whole experience, and I had to think about how they were benefiting from it. Of course, they wouldn't think about, oh, I get better food here, I'd rather be here than with mom, they wouldn't do that. But I had to balance out all of these things, and I had to make a conscious decision that I'm doing this for them, for me, for my son, so that they are safe, and they are safe not just in physically safe, but they're emotionally and mentally safe too, because they are in that environment. And so that's what I did yesterday. I felt like I turned a corner in the way I learned how to do that, and just going through the trenches doing that. It really impacted my, it kind of turned on a switch in me. Like I kind of trust myself a little bit more now to handle emotional situations like that, and I know I have some strategies I can fall back on. So I just want to share that with you guys, and I hope it helps anyone who's listening. Thank you for being here for me.